off, before we get to that 1 trillion number, right, the price reaction used to be Nvidia beats and the stock jumps. We're starting to get used to this, right? Maybe the second or third time it's happened. Nvidia beats, it jumps, and then it fades. What's going on here?
Yeah, look, I mean, Martin, it's really a victim of their own success. I think the bar continues to be set higher and higher. But the reality is, this is just a digestion period. I think as you look out to the coming years, I think this is just the start. It's year three of an 8 to 10 year build out. And there's one chip in the world fueling the AI revolution, and that's Nvidia. And I think we saw that front and center at GTC today. And I think that continues to be why you own Nvidia. I think this is a $6 trillion market cap by 2027.
Ooh, okay, Dan, listen, I want to focus in on that $1 trillion number that Jensen has been throwing around. When I think back and try and put it in context, Amazon and Walmart, it took Walmart decades to hit $1 trillion. It took Amazon probably an entire lifetime, and then now Jensen is saying they're going to hit it in, what, 2 years or so? And the other thing is I did some simple math, and you live and breathe these numbers. I just wake up, slam an espresso, and then start.
But my view is, as we've seen the last few quarters, he continued to really sandbag to some extent 20-30%. That's probably going to be higher than these numbers. So when you look at the trillion, that's probably closer to 1.4, 1.5 trillion when it's all said and done. And I think that continues to be the formula, because they're seeing demand, to put it in context, 12 to 1 demand to supply right now for Nvidia chips.
And of course, SK Hynix surged 7% in yesterday's session in the lead up to this GTC event. What we got, I think the big takeaway is obviously Nvidia continues to expand in this business. They are a platform. They are set to ride sort of multiple waves of AI. I get that. And that's been your mantra, Dan. But I wonder if memory layers will provide better investment opportunities than Nvidia's of the world, just because the competition story is there. And of course, there are some question marks over what Google is doing, what some of the other hyperscalers are trying to achieve here to bring down the cost and bring up their sort of vertical integration story.
Look, you hit the nail on the head. I think that's really why this has sort of been on a treadmill in terms of Nvidia stock. Look, when you look at memory, we're in a memory super cycle from Micron to SK, and obviously what we see, really across the board in terms on the memory side, SanDisk among others. Look, those stocks are going to continue to go higher. But my whole point is that when you look at what's happened with Nvidia, there's only one godfather of AI. And even if you look at what's happening on the demand side, when you look at Rubin and you go down the path, they're going to continue to have demand to supply 10 to 1, 12 to 1, probably for the foreseeable future. But that's also going to be a benefit to Google. But it speaks to our view. You have to own the second, third, fourth derivatives. You talk about memory, you talk about chips. And I continue to think the software sell-off is the most disconnected sell-off that we've seen since covering stocks in the late 90s.
How are you thinking about the whole software angle? And of course, we've had a lot of opportunities on CNBC to hear from you and to get your views. And then the latest that we got just overnight was Nvidia Software is aiming to bring OpenClaw to the enterprise. What does that say to the whole software space? Is that a negative to Microsoft's of the world?
Look, I view it ultimately as a positive because it just speaks to, and what Jensen's saying is that the use cases are going to be in software. That's where everyone's going after. There's a better chance of me being the Olympics in 2028 than Anthropic unseating a Salesforce, a ServiceNow, a CrowdStrike, a Palo Alto. I think right now, that's why it's an AI ghost trade. But it continues. I think software, you've seen the bottoming, and I think it's very important because as these use cases play out second half of the year, software will be the hearts and lungs of this AI revolution, along with memory, along with chips. But it speaks to our view. This is still a bull cycle for tech, despite obviously this white knuckle period that we're going through.